Welcome back, guys. We're back with a new video, and today we're gonna be going over finally a damage Chou tutorial. So if you guys did not know, I already have a tank Chou tutorial, so I will link that down below in the description. And also don't forget to join the giveaway. I will also link that below in the description for every video that I release for our weekly giveaway. So every time I do an in-depth tutorial, you guys already know what I do. We try to look at what my experience is with Chou. So right now I am currently Mythical Glory 290 stars. So let's check out how many Chou games I have. This okay, so we're United States number 4 Chou on this current month, which is the month of June. Okay, so for our statistics with Chou, let's check it out. This current season I have 85.9% with Chou and 71 games. And let's see overall statistics. My win rate with Chou is 78.4 and matches 560. So, you know, I'm pretty familiar with Chou. I don't usually spam Chou. There's some situations where Chou is bad on a specific team composition, and there's also some compositions where Chou is actually really good. But I do pick him when he's actually needed and when he's good. So that is for my credentials, guys. Let's go on to our mechanics to check him out and see what his skills will do. Alright, so here we are with the mechanics section of the video, and we're gonna be talking about his first skill first before we do anything. So the first skill has 3 steps into it. You can actually press his first skill 3 times, and the first 2 presses will slow enemies down if you hit them, if you're close to them. So you need to be close enough to actually slow them. And then the last step, the last press will be a knock-up if you do hit them with that. So you need to hit them. You need to be close enough to be able to hit them with your first skill. It's not a range attack. It's going to be a melee attack, alright? So keep that in mind. It's a 3-step skill. And you can actually delay it a little bit based on the circle that you see. If you're looking at the first skill right now, and if you use it once, there's actually a circle that gives you a, an indication of how long you can hold that skill for. If you let it run out, the cooldown will go down right away. Alright, so try not to let that run out, but if you're hiding on a bush or something, you can make sure you can, you can delay that, and you don't have to use all 3 first skills right away. Take your time and try to set somebody up, okay? So now let's talk about the second skill. I usually use my second skill for escaping, which is, it's pretty much a dash, but it's more than a dash. It gives you a little bit of shield, and it gives Chou physical attack penetration. So if you guys did not know that, whenever you use your second skill like that, it gives Chou physical penetration by 40 points, as it says on the skill info. So if you guys didn't know that, that's a good thing to know. So if you're like fighting somebody 1v1 and you need more damage, obviously, maybe dash towards them. You don't always have to use your dash away to escape. And that extra damage would actually help, especially with the damaged Chou. Okay, so, but most of the time I usually use this to like immune. You can immune crowd control, but you cannot immune everything. If actually you could immune everything, I'm sorry about that. You can actually immune Kaja's ulti as well if you time it correctly. You can also immune Franco's ulti if you time it correctly. So as long as you time it correctly, you can pretty much immune it. The only thing that you can't immune, I believe, is the hook. I have been Franco hooked before while I tried dashing, and I don't think you can immune it anymore. From what I remember, I've tried it, or unless I'm timing it wrong. Please tell me in the comment section below if you can still immune second skill Franco hook. All right, not the ulti. I know you can immune the ulti, but I don't think you can immune the hook. Alright, you'll still go towards Franco. Okay, so now the kick is pretty much, it's a setup. You can kick people away from you or towards your teammates to set them up. But since you're a damage Chou, you're probably most likely going to use this for killing people. So it's going to be, when you press it once, it's going to kick them away, and then when you press it again, it'll follow up and kick them a bunch of times, and it'll deal a lot of damage. So that's pretty much your kick. Okay, so that is it for the mechanics. Let's talk about the tips and tricks for damage Chou. Alright, so here we are with the tips and tricks for damage Chou. The very first tip that I would give to you guys is I already actually said it to you guys, which is delaying your first skill. You don't have to use your first skill like really fast. You can take your time on it. It has a delay on when you're looking at your first skill right now. It has that circle, blue circle, that indicates you whether your skill is about to go on cooldown or not. If you let it run out, your first skill will go on cooldown even if you don't use all 3 steps. Alright, so make sure you keep in track of that, because it actually helps when you're setting someone on a bush like this and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then you press it again, boom, that circle resets, then you're waiting, and then finally they come out, boom, right? So you don't have to have it on cooldown at that current time. So make sure you take advantage of that, okay? Make sure you keep an eye on that. So now another tip obviously is like going through walls. If you master this, if you know which walls that you can go through, like really fat walls you cannot go through like this, you will just hit your head. So make sure you know which walls are really easy to go through. Usually the walls that are really easy to go through are the edges of these walls right here. Edges, like pretty much the edges, right? Because the edges are thinner, they're not thicker. When you go down more on the walls right here, they're a lot thicker. So if you go here, they're a lot thinner. So more on the edges. And I actually like using this at mid lane, so going in like that, so I can get mid lane bush pressure, and I can face check pretty much. And that's it for the second skill. And I already, if you guys didn't watch the mechanics section, your second skill actually gives you physical penetration of 40 points. So if you want to kill someone and you need more damage, make sure to actually take advantage of that physical penetration, additional physical penetration on Chou's second skill. But most of the time, like I said, you're going to be using it for escaping and immuning enemy crowd control. So every time somebody's about to stun you, you could crowd control towards it. Like let's say a Eudora's stun is about to stun you, crowd control. I usually do it forward, since it's really hard to time when you dash backwards. When you dash backwards, the time, you know how Eudora's stun, it needs time to travel to you. If you dash backwards away from the Eudora stun, you usually get stunned. Alright, usually what I do is I dash towards the stun and then just walk away. That will immune the stun. It's a lot better than getting stunned. Immuning towards the crowd control is a lot better than getting stunned and them killing you, okay? And just walk away. Yeah, so that's one tip right there that I can think of for immuning crowd control. Pretty much dash towards the crowd control instead of away, because it'll mess up your timing. So now another tip that I can show you guys is kicking further, long kicking. So this was on the tank Chou tutorial, but I need to mention it again for you guys if you guys did not watch that tutorial. So how long kick works is when you press your skill, your ulti really fast, your kick will not be far. So let me just show you guys. If I kick the Z long and press my ulti right away, my kick will not be far. We'll test it out right here. As you can see, I didn't move much, right? I'm still pretty much right next to where I was. Alright, so let's reset that. Let's reset where Z long was. Damage bot. Let's put the cooldown. Alright. So what long kicking is when you use your ulti the first time, make the enemy go as far as possible first before pressing it again. That is what a long kick is. So it's pretty much like this. Press it once, let him go further, and then press it again. Look how far I am. You see what I mean? It's a lot further than right here, when I was right here. So that's very useful whenever you wanna outplay somebody and kick him into the tower, which is what happened to the Zilong bot right here. I can kick him from right here to the tower. Imagine that, right? And you can outplay them so much. And if they get stuck right here, they're done for. Okay, so that's another trick right there. What's another tip for damage Chou? Of course, another tip for damage Chou is going for the carries. You don't want to go for tank most of the time. What you want to do to the tanks is pretty much, if they keep fronting, just punch them. To be honest, punch them if anything. But don't be using your knockup. Your knockup is very important whenever you're on team fights. You want to save your knockup for the carries, right? Save that. It's pretty self-explanatory to say, but a lot of damage Chou still go for the tanks most of the time, and they waste everything. They kick the tank, they knock up the tank, and they use everything on the tank. So make sure you save up some skills for the carries, and because you're an assassin Chou. Your job is to kill the carries if you're a damaged Chou, and catch them off guard and give them a hard time on positioning. That's your job, okay? Another tip, this is probably going to be the last one, is going to be alternating your basic attack and your skill so you can get the most out of your true damage. You might be asking, where do I get the true damage? So for damage Chou, the build that I will give you, it has Endless Battle, and that gives you true damage every time you use a skill, and then after 1.5 seconds, you can use a skill again and then basic attack, and you get another true damage. But if it's too fast, if it's before 1.5 seconds, you don't get any true damage from Endless Battle. So this is how it works. So first, you use your first skill, boom. As you can see, do you guys see the white number? The white number that comes out every time I use a skill and then punch the turtle with a basic attack? That is what true damage is. Okay, so if I use my second skill and then punch, you can see that white number. It's 625. That's true damage. So my tip to you is, let's take off the cooldown for a second. My tip to you is first skill, punch, first skill again, punch, and then first skill again, punch. So pretty much alternating your skills and your basic attack to get the most damage out of your set, out of your item set. All right. You can also use second skill, basic attack, ulti, and then basic attack. I usually don't do the ulti, basic attack, ulti. I just use this is what I just do. So ulti, long kick, and then follow up, and then punch from there. I don't usually do the ulti kick and then basic attack and then ulti again to follow up and then basic attack, because it takes too long. You might mess up your ulti. You don't want to do that. All right, so that's it for the tips and tricks. Hopefully you guys learned something here. Let's go over the equipment, spells, and emblems. All right, so here we are with the emblems, and the very first emblem that I suggest to you when doing damage Chou is Assassin Emblem. You can go with two talents here, but I mostly prefer this emblem, this talent right here, High and Dry, because most damage Chou will be solo laning. Whenever a team plays damage Chou, they usually have him solo lane somewhere. And High and Dry, whenever you're doing a 1v1 with somebody, that extra damage definitely helps, alright? Especially like early game. You're gonna want movement speed for Chou, since if you're trying to escape, of course that movement speed will definitely help. If you're trying to chase somebody with Chou, that extra movement speed will definitely help as well. Physical penetration for the second row, which is the invasion, so put 3 points on that. But you could also do for the last talent, Bounty Hunter, if you would like. It really depends on your playstyle. If you're very, very aggressive, I suggest Bounty Hunter. If you're more passive, I suggest High and Dry. I mean, you could also use Killing Spree, but out of the three, I definitely prefer High and Dry. But that's up to you guys depending on your playstyle. If you're more of a cleanup, Killing Spree would definitely be good. But again, Bounty Hunter is maybe a safe bet. High and Dry is what I use for me. That's up to you guys. You can use whatever talent you have, but I suggest High and Dry for most damage Chou. Now, a lot of people ask me, can you use Fighter Emblem for Chou, since this one gives lifesteal for you, right? So what this does is it gives you pretty much spell vamp when you have this talent, and every time you get a kill, that spell vamp you will gain more spell vamp every time you get a kill. It goes up to 12%. You could also use this, but I don't see it as effective as the Assassin Emblem Chou, so I don't really recommend using Fighter Emblem Chou. Try to stick with the Assassin Emblem Chou when you're going damage Chou, alright? You could also try this out, but I don't recommend it. So it's Bravery, Physical Attack plus 12 on the first row, Physical Penetration on the second row, and Festival of Blood on the third row, alright? So yeah, you could try it, but Assassin Emblem is the way to go. Alright, so let's talk about the spells. Alright, for Chou's spell right here, I can only think of Flicker, to be honest, because Flicker definitely helps you when trying to surprise somebody and trying to catch a carry off guard. Like, if you're too far, if the enemy carry is way back in their front line and you can't get to that carry, Flicker definitely helps, because they don't expect you to get there right away. But with Flicker, if you flicker out of nowhere in front of them, they get caught off guard, and it definitely helps. So a lot of carries whenever they're fighting a Chou, they like using Purify. So make sure you keep that in mind if somebody has Purify or not. So what I do when someone runs Purify, when an enemy runs Purify, I try to bait that Purify before kicking. So what you want to do is the usual combo, first skill, knock up, and then you want to act like you're about to kick, but you're not. So you want to bait that Purify away from your carries, alright? But most of the time, for the emblems, you're going to be running Flicker. I don't see Chou right now using anything else. Sprint, I've seen some Chou sprints. I'm not really a big fan of Chou sprint. I have seen some Chou Purify. Not a big fan of that too, since you have immune on your second skill anyway. So if you time that correctly, you don't need Purify. Aegis, don't really see it as well for damage Chou. I guess you can kind of bait somebody into fighting a 1v1 and then Aegis out of nowhere. I have seen a Petrify damage Chou, but you know, it's very easy to dodge, especially like I said, everybody, a lot of people run Purify whenever they're against a Chou. So the only spell that I really recommend is Flicker. So try to stick with Flicker 95% of the time, please. Alright, so let's go over the equipment for damage Chou. So here we are for the equipments for damage Chou. The very first thing you want to buy is boots. So since I mentioned earlier that damage Chou is usually a solo laner, not really like a support kind of thing in the at mid lane. He usually solo lanes somewhere else, and most solo laners will be physical damage, like Thamus, Leomar, Daljus, right? Most of them are physical damage, but you could also go against like a Guinevere solo lane, Esmeralda solo lane, and things like that. So it really depends. So the boots that you want to buy is, if you're against a physical damage hero on your lane, please buy warrior boots. Now obviously if you're against a magic damage solo laner, please buy tough boots. Alright, a lot of damage Chou like going rapid boots for extra movement speed, but the thing about that is that extra movement speed is only good for what do you want to say this, when you're not being hit and when you're not on team fights. But I mean, you already have movement speed on your emblem anyways, so you know that extra little 40 points, and whenever you're out of the team fight, it makes you roam faster, which actually really helps. But I just prefer tough boots and warrior boots because that makes you a little bit tankier and you can fight more, and you have more 1v1 potential. And if you're too squishy, you're just gonna die before you can even engage, right? So warrior boots or tough boots is the way to go, is what I go for. So the very first core item is going to be Blade of Despair. This gives you 170 physical attack points and some more movement speed. So the item also gives you movement speed. If you think about it, if you buy rapid boots, you're already fast enough, right? But if you buy warrior boots or tough boots with the extra 5% movement speed of Blade of Despair, that helps you roam around as well. So when you complete this item, what this does is, if the enemy is below 50% HP, your damage will increase by 25%. So this item is super good with damage Chou when you're doing a 1v1 or even when you're setting somebody up. Now for the Endless Battle, this also gives you movement speed, and the important thing about this, it also gives you a little bit of sustain on that physical attack. But the most important part is probably the passive. So since Chou uses his skill a lot, which is the first skill, it has a three-step process. His second skill, and he has an ulti. Whenever you use a skill, you will get true damage on your basic attack. So I gave you a tip earlier. You're gonna want to use skill, basic attack, skill, basic attack. So make sure you alternate it to output as much damage as possible with damage Chou. All right. For this one, for the next one, it's gonna be Malefic Roar. Okay, so this is to get some more physical penetration when somebody's too tanky. Let's say a Hayabusa built warrior boots as well. So you're going to want to get physical penetration. And also for a solo Chou, for a solo laner Chou, they usually push lanes and split push a lot. So having that, you know, extra damage on turrets will definitely help with the Malefic Roar. So have that out. Heptases for the next build. Again, this is going to be a full damage Chou build. I'll show you guys a fighter Chou, more of a fighter Chou, so it's gonna be damage slash, like, you know, a little bit tankier so you don't die so easily, but we're gonna be focusing on damage right now. So it's pretty much, this is more, it takes down the physical defense of the enemy whenever you hit them with a skill. Since that, like I said earlier, since you're using majority of your skills on somebody, this item's passive you will definitely benefit from, and that gives you more physical attack, obviously a little bit more HP, and yeah, that actually helps on killing and bursting somebody out in one single combo. That's why the Heptasis is so good. You might be asking, why am I not building crit? So if you guys did not know, Chou actually got nerfed, and whenever he travels a certain amount of distance, you would actually crit a lot, and you have a higher chances of crit or something like that. But it doesn't work on him anymore since he got changed and he got patched. So that's why I don't build crit on my equipment anymore. Okay, so the last item is going to be Wings of the Apocalypse, and this gives you more lifesteal, physical lifesteal on that endless battle. It's pretty much more sustain, and you're harder to kill whenever you're under 50% health. Actually 40% health, and then you reduce 50% of the damage taken whenever you're under 40% health. Now if you want to go more of a fighter Chou instead of a full damage Chou, you could go for immortality, obviously, since if you're going to be setting and they're going to be focusing you whenever you set, immortality is definitely helps. And you could change this item as well. You could change it to like Thunderbelt would be good. Brute Force Breastplate would also be good, or Demon's Advent. So you can pick one of the armor items, physical defense items. So choose between the three. Thunderbelt also gives you a little bit more true damage, so that would help. But this gives you the least out of the three items physical defense points. So this one gives you 45 physical defense. This one gives you 54 physical defense. If you want to be a lot more tankier, the tankiest that you could go with is Anti-Cuirass. Alright? And but I think Brute Force Breastplate is like the safe bet. The safe bet for the fighter Chou. Okay? So you could go with this equipment for your 4 damage Chou. You could either go full damage, or you could go like a fighter Chou, like what you see here. The first 3 core items, Malefic Roar, Endless Battle, and Blade of Despair, that will not change. Alright, that will always be there for damage Chou. Okay, so let's go over the gameplay. Finally. So here we are with the gameplay for damage Chou. First things first, what I want to talk about is the emblem I have. So since we had a Mincetar, I didn't really know who was going to solo lane. It was either going to be me or him. So I was going to get this emblem right here. But I think I should have gotten High and Dry instead of this emblem, to be honest with you, since I ended up solo laning against this Hayabusa. So High and Dry would have definitely helped if I had that instead. Of course, we're going to be running Flicker. So here we go. Let's go with the gameplay. Skip a little bit. So yep, me and Mincetar, we were gonna go top lane. We were actually wondering who was gonna solo lane, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it, because Mincetar against Hayabusa is not a really good matchup for Mincy. Mincy's not gonna be able to burst Hayabusa since he has ulti, he has shadows and all that. Even though if Mincy has ulti and Hayabusa can't shadow out, he'll still be able to run away because Mincetar doesn't deal a lot of burst damage, so it's gonna be hard for him to actually go 1v1 against this Hayabusa. So might as well do it for the team. All I'm trying to do here at the early stages of the game is, after Hayabusa throws a shuriken, what I try to do is try to go aggressive with my first skill. When Hayabusa throws a shuriken, you need to time it correctly, and don't forget, if you last hit minions, you get some extra gold, so make sure to try and last hit minions, especially when you're solo laning. I hit him with 2 first kills right there, so we're just pretty much trading damage back and forth. First blood already happening here at mid lane, so that's not good. They do have a really strong early game though, and all I'm trying to do here is just trying to do as much damage as you can see. Since Hayabusa was focusing more on the minions, I took that advantage and I actually went aggressive on him instead of me like going and trying to kill the minions. So right here, I actually see Hayabusa super low. Like I said, if I had High and Dry, I would have gotten this kill 100%. He was 1 HP. If I had High and Dry, I would have gotten that kill 100%. But he's gonna be able to recall away, but that's alright. I'm just gonna be pushing the lane. He's gonna miss a whole wave of minions right here, and that's gonna be all right for me. That's still a positive trade for me. I actually messed up right there since I use assist boots. I'm a solo laner. I should not be going for the assist boots. I should have went for the warrior boots, which gives me armor. Yeah, so that was a mistake on my part. I actually didn't manage to roam that much this game, but that's alright. That's alright. We didn't manage to roam much, but Hayabusa's like really hard to roam against, since if you leave your lane, he's just gonna split push you, and you're gonna end up losing towers because of it. So it's very hard to choose whether, oh, should I roam now. You might be wondering why I ulted him out. I didn't want him ulting me when I'm not near any minions. So if you guys did not know, you could share damage when Hayabusa ulties you when you're next to a minion or even a jungle monster. So that's why I ulted him away, so I don't want him to ult me, because when he ults me alone, I take all that damage and I get punished for it. Right here, I can't really do anything since I had flicker instead of retribution, so he's obviously gonna get that. I'm just trying to bait out the shadows, and I managed to actually kick him right here, but I don't know if I get the kill. It's super close. He's 1 HP. I saw Guinevere there, so I thought she was gonna get the kill, and she did get the kill. So might as well, instead of, you know, being greedy for it, I mean, I could have been greedy for it and actually went for it. So, but that's alright. As long as Guinevere gets fed, since Guinevere is also a main core of the team, that is alright with me. I get 1 assist from it, and I still get a little bit of gold, and Hayabusa doesn't get to farm or split push or anything. So that's still a win for my side. Okay, so right here, I see that the minion waves, here's another tip. So whenever you see a minion wave spawn, like on the minimap, like right here, depending on which lane, right? Wherever that minion wave is, like if there's a minion wave right here, that means that there's a minion wave right here as well, unless you wave clear it at the base. That's when you know a minion wave's about to come in. So if there's a minion wave right here, that means that there's a minion wave right here on my side. So it's just like it mirrors the waves, right? Unless you proxy, unless you try to kill the minions before they reach the middle river. All right, so keep that in mind. I actually use that technique a bunch of times, and it's very helpful. All I'm trying to do is just farm. I see that Hayabusa and Kimi are here, so it's gonna be a 1v2 for me. I didn't want to engage. I will lose that game. I will lose that if I engage. And also, I try to just stick to where the minions will be, so that, like I said earlier, so that Hayabusa is not able to ult me. If I get ulted by Hayabusa alone, we're gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna die. Just defend, and this guy says just defend and let Paulo carry, since I mean my team is not doing so well right now. It's 3 and 8. I see that Grok is gonna push, and he still had ulti, so I didn't want to go aggressive. If I went aggressive there, I definitely would have died. Luckily, Akatsu had some spell vamp on his build already, so he's gonna live right there. He was just trying to wave clear that spot. I'm gonna try to help him as fast as possible though, as soon as I recalled, and we actually catch Grok off guard right here. He's not using his first skill while he's next to a wall, and we managed to crowd control him. So that was a really good timing for Akatsu with the knockup, and then I just managed to follow up with it. Right here, I'm trying to just focus the Kimi, trying to waste the Purify right there. Can't really do anything. If I chased that Kimi, I would have died, but Kimi ended up dying because of the Guinevere clone. If you didn't know, the Guinevere clone can actually kill Kimi whenever she's basic attacking that clone. It deals damage to her back, and if you're not hitting the correct clone. So that's why you might be surprised that how did freaking Kimi die. So this part right here, that was definitely Hayabusa's fault. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He definitely should have not shadowed next to me, right next to me, especially when I have minions right next to me. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? I honestly don't know what he was doing, but I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it. I got the kill. I got the easy solo kill, right? We ended up getting Endless Battle already, and if you notice, as soon as I get Endless Battle, I try to do the skill, basic attack, skill, basic attack, skill. As you can see, with even when I'm wave clearing, skill, basic attack, skill, basic attack, skill, basic attack, to get that the most output damage on that true damage, like on the Endless Battle. Take advantage of the Endless Battle as much as possible. And you might be wondering, why am I building Heptases? So Heptases, since I'm pretty fed 202, and I've been farming the whole game. I have the most gold in the on the team right now. Heptases is really good as a 1v1 item. Malefic Roar is a better split push item than Heptases, since Malefic Roar gives you that extra damage on the tower. So I wanted to go over this right now. As you can see, even though I see Grok going towards me right there, I completely ignored that Grok because I see that Kimmy's right here. And even though I didn't knock Kimmy up, I was in range for that kick, and I do damage with the kick. So it doesn't matter if I kick Kimmy out or in, as long as I'm able to kill Kimmy, that's fine, right? So if you didn't know, Purified doesn't work against the damage of Chou. If you have enough damage on Chou, and even if Kimmy purifies, that damage will still hit Kimmy. And I told you guys earlier, it's super hard to roam with Chou, especially if you're against a Hayabusa. If you're against Hayabusa specifically, I left the lane once, and look at my tower. It's already down. So I need to like keep in track of this lane and make sure that Hayabusa does not get the split push and backdoor. So yeah, I'm gonna focus more on this lane rather than trying to help the team now, since I don't want that extra global gold on going to the enemy team whenever they get a tower. Definitely hurts my team. All I'm gonna try to do is pretty much farm, try to keep my lanes push. I see that mid lane is pushed, so I'm gonna go here at mid lane and try to wave clear a little bit, and farm a little bit more. Like I said, as long as I keep this lane push right here at top lane, Hayabusa should be no problem once the team fight comes in. Alpha tried ulting me, was not even close. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But we're good so far. Still farming. Skill, basic attack, the usual, right? He ended up getting the crab right here, and I actually don't know if they knew I was here. I don't know how they would know. And this guy, I don't know why he shadowed in. I think he shadowed in so he can ulti the minions, but it doesn't matter because Minotaur will ulti, so he won't be able to shadow out if he's inside Minotaur ulti after his ult. Okay, so that's good for Minotaur. Very good ulti from Mincy right there. Right here, I don't want to focus too much on the Grok, since I know that Grok is obviously a tank. So what I'm gonna do is pretty much try to ignore and go around them, and pretty much go for the backline right here. As you can see, I knew that Kimmy was in this jungle and Alpha was there, so I'd rather go for them rather than go for a Ruby and a Grok. And yeah, that's why I went for that side. But right here, I was trying to chase the Grok. I managed to kick Kimmy, but I had the angle wrong. Okay, so let me explain what happened there. Actually, let's look at this first. Guinevere ultis knocks up right there, and they got baited into me. I almost died. That was super good save by Akatsu right there. So let me explain the Kimmy flicker. So I flickered this way, thinking that I could kick Kimmy this way, but there's a big wall, like a chunk of wall, right in front of Kimmy. So it was really hard to like angle, and I ended up flickering right here, ended up kicking right here. So that was pretty bad. But obviously, if you're trying to make a play, sometimes that happens. Sometimes it pays off. It really depends, but be confident in your play, and you know, even take the risk, especially if that carry is vulnerable. All right, if you see that carry alone, or if you think that you could kill him, go for it. Don't be afraid, be aggressive, don't be scared. You're a damaged Chou, your job is to assassinate the carries. So I took the gamble, and it didn't go out. It didn't go well for me. I managed to waste a kick. I managed to waste Kimmy's Purify, which is alright, I guess, but other than that, I kind of wasted a kick. So, but that's alright. That's alright. I managed to live anyways. But in future reference, just be confident in your play, because being confident in your play is definitely a big part of playing Chou, or any hero, to be honest with you. So let me explain what just happened there. Let's rewind a little bit. So as you can see, I already knew that Hayabusa was gonna die, so I didn't waste my kick on Hayabusa. I ended up going for the Alpha anyways to get another, to make my kick more efficient. So instead of using it on Hayabusa, who's about to die anyways, even without my ulti, use it on someone that would benefit your team. So right there, I kicked Alpha, and Alpha did not even get a chance of like sustaining and lifestealing with his second skill. He ulted in, but it doesn't matter. He's not gonna be able to sustain and lifesteal the damage that we gave him after my kick. So that's why I used it on Alpha, and Kimmy was the only one left. So we're good with that, right? A lot of damage Chou, whatever. I see damage Chou ulting enemy heroes that are already dead. I didn't mean to KS that. I was just trying to knock up, but I managed to get that kill. I feel bad for my teammates actually for just last hitting that kill, but that's alright. We're just gonna try to push this wave again, trying to keep this single lane pressured so that Hayabusa doesn't get to split push. And that's why I'm trying to just focus on top lane and mid lane. As you can see, I'm not really on bot lane so much, and except for earlier, I managed to set Alpha right there since I knew he was overextended and out of position. So that's already an automatic 4v5 with the Lord with us. I actually missed my knockup right there because Hayabusa had a little bit of dash and shadow, but Mincetar will be able to ulti, and he won't be able to shadow out once he's inside Mincetar's ulti. I see that, okay, so I saw that Ruby was here at mid lane, so I managed to switch lane because I knew that Ruby has a decent amount of wave clear. If Ruby follows me, that means that this mid lane will be down and that bot lane will not have a lot of pressure on it. So what I'm trying to do here is pretty much, I'm just more of a distraction if anything. I'm trying to bait Ruby's hook by going back and forth. I'm trying to, like, I don't usually commit unless I have second skill. As you can see, I go really close. But if I feel like he's about to ulti me, I second skill out, so his ulti doesn't work on me whenever I use my second skill. Right here, I see Guinevere going for the knockup right here, and this is gonna be an easy kill. I didn't even want him, like, I didn't want Ruby to have a chance to lifesteal all the damage that Guinevere did to him, did to her. I mean. So I managed to just use the kick since my kick has pretty low cooldown anyways, and there was nobody else there to actually kick. There was no Kimmy, there was no Alpha, so might as well go for the kick to get that secured kill on that Ruby. We finally get our Wing of Apocalypse for more sustain. That gives you a little bit more spell vamp, physical lifesteal. I mean, sorry, not spell vamp, physical lifesteal on Chou, so you have a little bit more sustain. Right here, you might be wondering why I kicked. He looked like he was about to ulti, and that's why I kicked. I didn't want him to have a chance of ulting, but he was dead anyway, so I managed to get that kill. Another kind of a KS, but look at that damage on Grok. Grok got bursted right away by that Kari, my damage, and Guinevere damage, so they don't have a frontline anymore, except for Ruby, pretty much. Alpha could kind of frontline, but not that well. But right here, they just fall off. That was a really good knockup from Makatsu again, and he ended up getting the double kill. Right here, all we need to do is kill Kimmy, and Kimmy cannot purify my damage, but he can purify my kick. So that's good. That was GG from here. So that's how you play solo Chou, damage Chou. Most likely you're gonna solo lane. Keep it safe. Help your teammates, kick the carries, assassinate the carries. Don't let Hayabusa split push and all that. Keep your lanes pressured and all that. Okay, so we got MVP right here on this gameplay. Let's look at our items first. Again, I already mentioned this. I was not supposed to get assist boots, but I mean, it also helped me since I did get 10 assists. But I would definitely, since I was a solo lane and I was against Hayabusa, if I was to replay this game, I would definitely go for the warrior boots instead. And I went for the endless battle first, Heptases, because 1v1, it was me versus 1v1 in Hayabusa. Having that extra armor, physical penetration really helps. And Blade of Despair, and then I was gonna go for the immortality for that last item right here. Wings of Apocalypse for more sustain, because that helps. Endless battle has physical lifesteal. That increases the lifesteal for a little bit, and then you take less damage when you're under 40% health. So that's good, right? You're harder to kill. So for the immortality, since I said a lot with Chou, even if they focus me and I build immortality at the later game, I still have a second life. Okay, so that's good. Immortality is good. But again, I can make you choose. You can either go full damage, you can go fighter Chou. That's all up to you, depending on your playstyle, to be honest. So that is it for the gameplay today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something. I'ma just have a reminder for you guys that I already have a Chou tutorial before, but that was a tank Chou tutorial. This is a damage Chou tutorial. The other one is a tank Chou tutorial, which I will link in the description below. And don't forget that we have a weekly giveaway up every single week, and every Pacific Standard Time Friday we announce the winner at midnight, and if you're in the Philippines, it's 3 p.m. at Saturday. That's when we announce the winners. Alright, so make sure you do it every single week, and that will be also linked below in the description. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something with the damage Chou, and hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to me and maybe picking up a couple of things, right? So thank you guys. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe.